Hello again. Today I want to share with you a testimony of something that the Lord did in my life 10 years ago now. I was on LinkedIn at the time, and that's another story how I got there. But anyway, I was sharing some of the songs that the Lord had given me to write on LinkedIn. And this man contacted me on there about coming out to Nashville, Tennessee, and professionally recording one of my songs. Okay, so I was old, at that point I was 60, 61, 62 years old, yes, because now I'm 72. That was 10 years ago. So I was 62 years old, and my voice was old, and now it's gone. The singing voice is gone, but it was starting to go then. But it was when the Lord gave me songs to write, and there was nobody else to sing them but me, so that was the voice we had. Anyway, so, when he contacted me, I was like, no way. And so then he wrote back to me and he said, but did you pray about it? Oh boy, the shame. No, I had not prayed, and that's unusual for me to not pray about it, but I just assumed there's just like no way, So I said, no, I didn't pray about it, and then I was convicted, and so I told him I'd pray about it, and I mean, immediately the Lord just kept speaking to me through his word and through other songs, the lyrics, and he made it real clear he wanted me to do this. And so I talked to my husband about it, and he agreed because it was going to cost us money. I mean, the guy was trying to make money, obviously. But he was a real nice guy too. But he was, he was looking for business, and so I started working on this song, and we lived in South Carolina at the time, and so I would send him the song, via the internet, and then he would work up a rendition of it, and then he would send it back to me, and then I would make corrections and send it back to him, and we, did this back and forth until we came up with a product that we felt comfortable with, So we scheduled a time to travel to Tennessee, which was about an 8-hour trip. And then I lost my voice. Seriously, I had no voice. I could hardly talk. I could not sing, So I prayed about it, and I really felt the Lord said to go on faith. So I discussed it with my husband, and I said, no, to do this, I can't guarantee I'm going to have a voice, and, but he wanted to do it, so we told the guy, we were going to pay him anyway, and we were going on faith, and so we traveled out to Tennessee, and we, got ready to go into the studio. I still had no voice, I tried everything that I knew to do, like hot tea with honey, usually that works, gargling, and but no voice. And right before I had to go and stand in front of the microphone and sing, I had no voice, nothing. And so I just went and stood in front of the microphone, and I said, Lord, if this is going to happen, you're going to have to make it happen, And I opened up my mouth, and I had a voice. Now, it wasn't a real strong voice, but it was strong enough, and it was the voice that the Lord wanted me to have for this particular song. And so I sang, and not only did I sing the melody, but I had background voices that I sang those too. And so we did all this, and then the producer wanted me to sing more. And I said, no, that's it. I mean, whatever we had, that's what we had, and that was going to be, the product. And And so then he put it all together, and then we went and listened to it, and we both just cried. Now to some people it may not sound, really great, when you're used to all these professional things, but for us, and even just the experience of it was just awesome. It was wonderful just watching him work and see how he did things and how he was able to take that and but to me it's a beautiful song. And but it was a miracle of God, that God did that, and he did it in the way that he did it for, a very specific reason. And I don't know all the reasons, other than, it was one step that he taught me to just walk by absolute faith, because I had nothing to give, and then he gave it to me when I needed to have it. And as I've said before, I have these little verses, and this verse for today is from Psalm 32:8, and this is in the NASB version. It said, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way which you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you." And that's exactly what he did. And I mean, he does this in my life all the time. But that's exactly, what he did is when when I first said no way, and then felt guilty about not praying about it. And then I prayed about it, and then he said to go. I mean, just as clear as could be. And then no voice, and again he said to go, and then getting there and standing in front of that microphone, no voice, and then just opening my mouth and trusting that whatever was going to come out was from the Lord, and that was what he wanted. And anyway, I just wanted to share that with you today, because a lot of us face these seemingly impossible situations where we and our first response is like, no way, God's not going to use. I mean, I'm an old lady, and he's using me in the ways that he's using me. And within God's perfect will, nothing's impossible with God. If he calls you, he can provide, no matter what your training is, or your education, or your ability to talk, or not ability to talk very well. I'm not a public speaker, as you can probably tell. Writing is more my thing. Anyway, God, if he calls us, we don't have to worry about how we're going to do it or anything like that. He's going to provide, and we just have to trust him. And so I want to encourage you today, if you're in a situation, maybe not exactly like mine, but a situation where you feel maybe God is calling you in a certain direction, but you don't see how anyway possible it's going to happen. If he's the one calling, he will provide. And one of the songs that he had in my head was the one by, I think, Don Moen, where it says, "God will make a way where there seems to be no way. He works in ways we cannot see. He will make a way for me. He will be my guide, walking closely by my side. With love and strength for each new day, he will make a way." And I want to encourage you with those words today. And I hope you will see that God is able.